Hello, Let's Talk Sport viewers, and welcome to our FA Cup final preview between Chelsea and Manchester United, taking place this Saturday at Wembley Stadium in London. Conor Porter alongside Jamie Davies, our resident Manchester United fan. I say that enough to Joe about being resident Liverpool fan. And if Jack was here, I'd be saying the same about the Chelsea fan, but Jack, as usual, has disappeared somewhere, hasn't he?
It's clear he's very scared of this final. He doesn't want to talk about it. Come on, Jack. I'm brave. I'm a brave guy.
Jamie's a brave guy, as we all know. Glaring the sun in Portugal for Eurovision, but now he's back on British shores.
Can you tell?
Just in time for the FA Cup final between Chelsea and Manchester United. And it's been quite a journey for both sides trying to get themselves into this FA Cup final throughout the season in the Premier League, as well as the FA Cup itself. Chelsea having to go through a third round replay in order to knock out Norwich City, 5-3 on penalties, so they could have been out early in the stages there. Newcastle was then the next opponents, and they beat them by 3-0. Hull City 4-0 in the fifth round. Leicester City away trip was a 2-1 victory after extra time in the quarter-final, so they easily could have been knocked out there as well, and then beating Southampton by 2-0 in the semi-final stages at Wembley not too long ago either. So a bit of a bumpy road, shall we say, for Chelsea to get to this FA Cup final, but a bumpy road all over the season really for Chelsea and Antonio Conte, who's under pressure to win this game, isn't he?
I honestly think if he doesn't win this game, he's gone. I think this really is a lifeline for Antonio Conte. A lot of people could say they turn up to work and they don't know when their last day at work could be. Tomorrow could be Antonio Conte's last day at work. So sadly, I don't like to say that because I'm a big fan of Conte. I think he's a great manager. First season to win the Premier League, in English football. He's never done English football before, and he absolutely nailed it, to be honest. And I think it's a shame as well because Chelsea, yet again, are a club that sack managers after 2 years, maybe 3 years is a long time when it comes to Chelsea Football Club. But if they get rid of Conte, even if they lose this FA Cup, then I think it's a real shame because Man United are going to win tomorrow. So Antonio Conte might be gone after this weekend.
There was a funny thing that he said in the press conference today, as we record this on the Friday before the fixture. He said, a reporter asked him, "Is this going to be your last game at Chelsea?" And he answered, "This is going to be my last game at Chelsea this season."
Yeah, I knew he was going to say that.
He's clever. They got a good laugh out of all the reporters. But yeah, as you said, Jamie.
As if they would ask him that, though. Yeah. He's not going to say yes, and then Chelsea board will think, "Oh, is he just going to resign?" Or
I think Abramovich would be happy if that happened.
Well, yeah, they do the dirty work for us.
Get the job done easily and done. He doesn't have to do anything that way.
No,
the guys resign themselves. So, but we have to wait and see whether or not he can actually finish the season with some silverware, because certainly he needs it in order to keep his job. But another man that would love silverware this season is, of course, Jose Mourinho and Manchester United. Of course, the treble last season, was it the poor man's treble?
Well, yeah, you could say that.
The poor man's treble, the Europa Cup, the League Cup, and the Community Shield.
Yeah.
And hopefully a bit more of a major silverware trophy, as people like to call it, the FA Cup, one of the most oldest football competitions in the world. Certainly be one that United would love to win this season. A bit of an easy road, shall we say, to the final, but still 2 Premier League opponents they had to knock down, similar to Chelsea, who had to knock out 3 Premier League opponents. Derby County in the first round, home by 2-0, very easy. Yeovil Town away from home, 4-0, very easy. Huddersfield Town away from home, 2-0. Can be a tough tip to Huddersfield sometimes. Brighton at home, 2-0, and Tottenham away at Wembley. Well, we say away at Wembley, but Tottenham have been playing at Wembley all season long. 2-1 there, so they managed to book themselves into the FA Cup final. And if they do win the FA Cup final this time, they will tie Arsenal's record for 13 FA Cup wins. I mean, that'd be quite an achievement for Manchester United this season, and really a good 2 years, good first 2 years under Jose Mourinho, isn't it?
This is when, if he wins this FA Cup, then straight away I'm going to question anyone that criticised Mourinho so far, because so many have criticised him. I don't think Mourinho has been on his own quite a lot in the last few months in terms of players not performing for him. For example, Paul Pogba. I don't understand why people criticise him. I think he's a good player, but it annoys me because Mourinho could win tomorrow, and then everyone praises him for winning 4 trophies in 2 seasons. I'm thinking, you weren't there, were you, all season for him when we lost the Premier League? Don't get me wrong, I thought we lost the Premier League when we lost to Chelsea. at Stamford Bridge, and that was way back in November. We were 8 points behind, and I could not see us beating Man City to it, because they were a team at the time that were in a form where they had won every game 18 times in a row. And forms like that win you the Premier League. And I think I think the points between United and Man City were misleading. I just think Man City had a role going on where nobody could stop them, and that's what wins you the Premier League title. I honestly think it could have been closer. Look at the last few games for Man United. They've beaten Arsenal, they've beaten Liverpool, they've beaten Chelsea, they've beaten Manchester City on their own turf that nobody else could have done this season in the Premier League. And
I like that you said the Premier League, because
I've got to be careful. I know.
Got to be careful with some Liverpool fans out there.
Oh, that doesn't. Champions League doesn't count. But yeah, they already won in the first leg. Doesn't count. But yeah, I think you look at that, and that's when Mourinho can always beat the big teams. That's when he is the best manager on the day. I mean, that Tottenham win at Wembley in the semi-final. That was a big game. I thought we were going to be the second favourites to head to the final, just because they've been playing there all season. We lost to them in January in the Premier League at Wembley, humiliated. We didn't even turn up, and he got the form back. So I think the last few months for United have actually been really exciting, because I honestly think next season, is this where we actually do go up against the big teams, win those vital 6-pointers, and actually maybe go on and win the Premier League. But if Man City carry on as they are, then it's going to be very difficult to catch up with them. Yeah,
Lukaku as well will be instrumental for any success that United has in the future. He's certainly been a strong striker for them this season, especially in the FA Cup as well, top goal scorer in the FA Cup. But the problem might be that he may miss this fixture. Jose Mourinho said that he's not completely 100% certain that he'll be able to play in this game or start this game, but with Jose Mourinho these days, mind games are at the top of his agenda. So whenever Jose Mourinho says someone's not going to play, you can probably bet your house on that they're going to play. So Jamie, for you though, if Lukaku does miss this game,
so this house,
no. if Lukaku does miss this game, is it going to be a struggle for United to potentially win this game then against Chelsea? Do you think?
No. I think, as daft as it sounds, we do have other players. We got Lingard and Rashford straight away. Lingard loves Wembley, so I'm hoping that the Wembley form will continue for him, even though he didn't score in the semi-final, which was a big shock, Jesse. I'm disappointed. But back in that Tottenham win at Wembley a few weeks ago, it was, as I say, we won a very big game there. But the likes of Ander Herrera came out of nowhere and scored, which was a very unexpected goal. Sanchez as well, he loves Wembley as well. I should probably stop talking about the history, really, because you shouldn't really think about the past and actually focus on the present day match, which will be on Saturday. So I think we've got other backup. Lukaku hasn't been that vital to us this season. He hasn't been. I think we've expected more from him, but this is his first season, and I'm hoping he'll learn a lot from his first year at Man United, because he knows he's at the biggest club he's ever been at. Sorry, Chelsea, but it's just the fact that he'll want to score against Chelsea tomorrow. I'm sure of it. But also the likes of Mata, etc. as well. It's times like this I wish we did have Zlatan Ibrahimovic playing his final game at Wembley. But I think United have got the backup to find the goals. But I honestly think this will be a low-scoring affair anyway. So I don't think there'll be many goals from either side.
Well, talking about goals from either side, Chelsea had that situation where they have to pick between Giroud or Morata. Really, Giroud's been on fire recently, but he's not the solid starter. That job belongs to Morata, but he's been inconsistent. Who do you think Chelsea should start tomorrow, really? Giroud in form or Morata the starter?
I think it's a no-brainer for context. It depends if it's a long game or not he wants to play, and I reckon you start Morata anyway, because this is what the finals are for. This is where he needs to perform. This is where all that money went in for him. I mean, how much was he? 70 million, 75?
Yeah,
that's a lot of money. And I think for games like tomorrow, you've got to play the likes of Morata, no matter what the form. But I honestly think Giroud is a great super sub. And come the second half, who knows? They might be 1-0 down, and Giroud, you never know with that guy. The moment he comes on, he's in that penalty area, gets higher than his defenders and gets the header in, or gets a good old spider kick in, or whatever they call it. I mean, it's just ridiculous the goals he scores. It's never simple. It's because of his height. It's great, but I honestly think that's what I would do. Drew's a great super sub, but yeah, Morata in my eyes has to play, and if he doesn't play, then I'd be worried, Morata, because you kind of question your future at the club, I think, actually.
Yeah, just a couple more notes on this FA Cup final before we get your scoreline prediction.
No.
VAR being used for the first time in this FA Cup final. Certainly going to be...
Damn!
Could be a tasty affair. I don't know how the goals are going to go. And also because of the recent passing of Ray Wilkins, his widow, Jackie Wilkins, will be presenting the FA Cup final to either the winner of either Chelsea or Manchester United. Ray Wilkins, of course, played for both teams during his life, and it's mainly because the Duke of Cambridge, of course, away the royal wedding.
Yeah. I didn't hear about that. When is it?
I think it takes place like maybe a few hours before. Not too sure. You'd have to check your TVs for that.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
But yeah, so Jackie Wilkins will be presenting the FA Cup final trophy, and this will be forever remembered by many people as the Ray Wilkins final. Truly a tremendous player, but who will be going up to the stand by the end of the 90 minutes or at the end of extra time to lift the FA Cup, Jamie? Who's it going to be, Chelsea or Manchester United?
I think it'll be 90 minutes, either way. I'm obviously going to go for Manchester United. I think they're going to do it 2-0. I think Chelsea are really poor at the moment. And as much as I hate to say it, I think this is Conte's last game. And it's funny because last week when they played against Newcastle have been great at home this season, let's be honest. They beat us. They've beaten a few big teams. But Chelsea just look all over the place to me. And despite the players, Eden Hazard, Olivier Giroud, as you mentioned, and all those likes, they're good players, but they're just not been consistent all season. And I think this is where they've really got to do it for Conte, not for themselves. This is where they've got to play for Conte, because if they are aware of what's going to happen to him, then the likes of Gary Cahill have even said, this is for Conte on Saturday. We've got to play with respect. And I just think United are the better team. They've just got the better equipped, and that's why we finished second this season. Okay, we weren't always convincing all season round, but I just sense an FA Cup will end it well for United. If not, if Chelsea win, then well done to them. But all I'll say is that it'll save someone's job.
I'm going to go for a United win as well, but I don't think it's going to be as far away on the scoreline as you're predicting. I think it's going to be actually 3-2 win for United, and I think it's actually going to play out with a 2-0 lead for Chelsea by half-time. And we'll have a second half comeback by United. Because if you look at how Chelsea's played against some of the big teams recently, they've started off strongly, and then they kind of faded out as the games go along. And United's been really the complete opposite. They've started off weirdly and kind of badly, but then they've come back in the second half and really struck gold and managed to find the win in the game. So I think it's going to end up like that. I think, once more, 90 minutes is fair. I think both teams will be going all guns blazing from the start, but I think Chelsea will get off a strong start. But I think United will potentially bounce back into the second half, especially with, when you've got people like Martial that you can bring off the bench that's got a point to prove, being left out of the French national team for the World Cup, and Lingard as well, looking for a place in the England starting 11 too. So you've got plenty of players there looking for opportunities. So I think United going to win the FA Cup against Chelsea this Saturday. So those are our predictions and preview for the FA Cup this coming Saturday. What are your own thoughts and predictions for the game itself? Make sure you leave it all in the comments box below. I think it's pointing down
right down there somewhere. Somewhere there.
Make sure you leave a like on the video as well if you have enjoyed our preview, and subscribe for more Let's Talk Sport content, and ring that notification bell as well so you don't miss any video that we post up on the channel. Goodbye, and I shall see you soon.